Good day everyone. For today's discussion, we are talking about Adler's theory of masculinity and opportunity theory. First, the objectives of this discussion is to know what is Adler's theory of masculinity, to learn what is masculine protest is about and its concepts, and how women express their masculine protest. And in the second part, the objectives of the second part is to know what is opportunity theory is about. Who created opportunity theory? What is meant by opportunity theory? And the key concepts of the opportunity theory. But first, what is masculinity? Masculinity is a social expectations of being a man. The term masculinity refers to the roles, behaviors, and attributes that are considered appropriate for boys and men in given society. So, basically, masculinity is a qualities or attributes regarded as characteristics of men. What is Adler's theory of masculinity? Adler's theory of masculinity is about a person's identity or person's gender role that is rejected their own gender for them to be treated as a equal manner, especially for women. So women rejected a feminine identity in order to be valued and compensated in the same manner as men. So Alfred Adler created the term masculine protest. Now, who is Alfred Adler? Alfred Adler, he was an Austrian medical doctor, psychotherapist, and founder of the individual psychology. Alfred Adler was born in February 7, 1870, and he is born in a village in western fringes of Vienna. He was the second of the 7 children of a Jewish couple, Pauline Beer and Leopold Adler. What is masculine protest? Masculine protest is a term to describe the behavior of women who rejected traditional feminine roles in favor of more masculine ones. And one big reason that women rejected roles is because they want to gain power and feel more dominant in a situation. For you, where does this sense of needing to feel dominant come from? It is fueled by feelings of inferiority or the sense of being a secondary or lower status. Even though women now have the right to vote and are often seen as being equal in many ways, there are still so many ways in which women struggles for equality. For example, throughout history, women have often been viewed as inferior and were considered as a weaker sex. What is the concept of masculine protest? A tendency attribute especially to the human female in the psychology of Alfred Adler to escape from female role by assuming a masculine role and by dominating others broadly. Any tendency to compensate for feelings of inferiority, inadequacy, and exaggerated over-aggressive behavior. How women express masculine protest? Women who participate in masculine protest are actively rebelling against the position that modern society has constructed for them. One way women express this is by choosing traditional masculine careers like firefighting, military service, or even professional mixed martial arts. What are the pictures of protest masculinity? Protest masculinity is gender identity oriented towards a protest of relations of production and the ideal type of hegemonic masculinity. To this point, protest masculinity has been conceived as the destructive, chaotic, and alienating sort of masculinity. Opportunity theory. What is opportunity theory? Crime opportunity theory suggests that offenders make rational choices, thus choose targets that offer a high reward with little effort and risk. The occurrence of a crime depends on two things: the presence of at least one motivated offender who is ready and willing to engage in a crime, and the conditions of the environment in which the offender is situated to wit opportunities for crime. Who created the opportunity theory? Sociologists Richard Cloward and Lloyd Olin developed a legitimate opportunity theory to explain why social classes have distinct styles of crime. The first two laws were further used by the father of criminology, Edwin H. Sutherland, in theory of differential association. What is meant by opportunity theory? Opportunity theories of crime seek to explain occurrence of crime rather than simply the existence of criminal dispositions. They emphasize the fundamental element in the criminal act of opportunity, how this arises, how is perceived, evaluated, and acted on by those with criminal dispositions. Key concepts of opportunity theory. The first concept is routine activities. Daily activities create the convergence in time and space of the three elements necessary of a crime to occur: motivated offenders, suitable targets, and the absence of capable guardians. Second is the rational choice. The rational choice perspective tries to understand crime from the perspective of the offender. It is directly concerned with the thinking process of offenders, how they evaluate criminal opportunities, why they decide to do one thing rather than the other, and why they choose to obtain their ends by criminal and not legal means. Situational crime prevention through environmental design. Situational crime prevention introduces discrete managerial and environmental changes to reduce the opportunity for crimes to occur. It is focused on the setting of crime and seeks to predict the occurrence of crime. It suggests that much offending can appropriately be viewed not simply as the product of deep social, economic, and psychological causes, but also the result of deliberate choices by individuals. Therefore, by making criminal action less attractive to offenders, criminal behavior can be curbed. Critical developments. Since in the conception, the opportunity theory has received much analysis, criticism, and reform. Through research, experimentation, the theory has evolved from the contributions and improvements by the different scholars, each emphasizing his or her own ideas. Criminal act does not, however, result simply and inevitably from the presence of a criminally disposed individual. The conditions of crime must be right in terms of such situational factors as the availability of a vulnerable target and an appropriate opportunity. Second is the lifestyle of routine activities of people alter the opportunity structure of crime, thereby explicit influencing crime. High victimization rates of certain social classes can be explained by their choice of routine activities. Third is a critical development of the crime opportunity theory is the crime itself with crime. One way this can happen is one person victimizes another who then victimizes the third person and so on. Masculinity and femininity are styles. There are interpretations, according to Radharani. And that's it for today's discussion. Thank you everyone.